How's it going, guys? Gray back with another gameplay, and I gotta tell you, I am enjoying these subscriber questions because it's making me think. It's making me remember what I went through when I was younger. I got a question here from Soren Falcon Gaming, and he asks, what advice would you give to somebody trying to get their first job? I think he meant career though. He's 21. He had his first job through the holiday season and it didn't really work out, and he's going back out there. Now, Soren, I don't know a whole lot about you. You're 21, so I'm guessing you're either in college or just about to finish college, or you didn't go to college and you're trying to find your way. My suggestion to everybody is to go into sales first. Why don't you try to do a telephone marketing position? I mean, you could go B2B, which is business to business, or door to door if you want to, but I always prefer telephone marketing because you really learn a lot about business in that position. It also is a really nice thing to put down on a resume that you worked in a sales position. I don't know if you were in retail or if you're in a restaurant. I never worked in a restaurant before, by the way, but at 21, I would suggest going into a career. Your focus should be on making somewhere between $30,000 to $40,000, and telephone sales is the place to go, in my opinion, if you can talk. So that's the route that I would go. It's actually the route that I did. Now, back in the day when I did it, I had to go through the newspaper to find a job. You get to go on the internet, and there are tons of positions, and companies are always hiring sales positions because there's a lot of turnover in them. But if you find the right one and you find that you have a gift for selling that product, you can make a tremendous amount of money. Sales is the highest paid position that you can have within any company, in case you guys wanted to know. Now, there was another question along these lines, but it was from a subscriber who's a little bit older and a little bit different position. Name is Frodo Show. He says, his question is more about switching careers. He was working for a company that he thought was going to be his quote-unquote savior. He's been there for about a year. He hates it. He feels like he's being taken advantage of. He can't win. He says he's in sales, but his degree is actually in computer engineering. He's trying to get his A+ certification. He wants advice on what he should do, and he really wants to work with servers and switches and routers and things like that. My first question is why did you go into sales then? Could you not find a position? But I followed him up and I asked him, because this was really important based on the way he was talking. I assumed he's older, he's married, and he could have kids. So I asked him, and he is married, he's in his 30s, but no children. The reason why I brought that up is because when you're a married man and when you have children, your dreams or your ambitions sometimes have to be put to the side in order for the provision of your family, okay? Because providing for your kids and your wife is far more important than you not being happy in your job. And just because I do fairly well in what I do for a living doesn't mean I necessarily enjoy my job every single day. In fact, I've worked with a lot of men, discipling or counseling, however you want to put it. And one of the main issues that all men go through, even men who make really good money, is they don't like their job. They always feel like the grass is greener on the other side. And let me tell you right now, it's not. Now, for you, Frodo, you don't have children. I imagine that your wife probably works, and so it does give you somewhat flexibility in the decisions that you make. Where you are right now, the path that you're on, your next decision will probably determine the rest of your life in a lot of ways. Because once you get into a given field and you start building experience in that field, you are going to somewhat pigeonhole yourself in that industry because companies are looking for people with the type of experience that you have. Now, when it comes to sales, some people can do it and some people can't. All right, and I feel sorry for the people who can't. And it's not necessarily that you can't do sales, but maybe it's sales in that particular industry that you went into. And so if that's the case, you can either try another industry, or you may need to go and do what you're feeling called to do. I mean, I don't know many people who want to work with servers, switches, and routers. That sounds, pretty exclusive in its product knowledge. So if you have it, obviously people are going to want it, but you can't stop working, number one. Always work. There's nothing worse than a man, which men were created to work. There's nothing worse than a man who doesn't work. All right, because that's when they get into trouble. And I'm not kidding, and you guys may laugh at that statement, but when we're not busy, that's when we're doing something wrong. All right, and as a Christian, one of the main things that I believe Satan does to Christians, or evil, or I don't know how you guys want to word it if you're not a Christian, but isolation. When you're not working, when you're not keeping busy, you're isolated, and men are inclined to isolate. That's just how we are. We want to be the kingdom of our own universe, so to say. And so that isolation can actually destroy you. So whatever you do, constantly keep busy. You know, if you're gonna look for another job, do it while you're currently working at your current position. And you never know, you know, that job that you're at right now, while you think it's awful and you hate it, it may be the key to your next job, or it may click all of a sudden and you could just shoot through the roof with it and start making a ton of money. So my advice is this: never stop working. If you want to switch industries, do it while you're working. And you are young enough and you don't have children yet to make a career change and start over, so to say. All right. I hope that didn't confuse you. And of course, as always, I hope you like the gameplay in the background. But while we're at it, I want to throw in one more, because I've seen this question before on other videos. It talks about grades in school, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand with finding your first job and things like that. You know, a lot of kids, when you're in high school and college, y'all focus on grades thinking that they're so important. But let me tell you, man, when you get out into the workforce, your grades mean squat. It doesn't matter. They just want to see that you completed your high school diploma, or you completed your bachelor's degree. And even when you're in high school thinking you need to get a 4.0 to get into college, it's not true. Colleges just want your money. You just gotta pass, man. You just gotta have a 2.0 GPA coming out of high school, and you can get into pretty much any college. Now, if you want to go to Princeton, Harvard, Yale, or something like that, you're gonna need really good grades, but most people don't want to do that. Most people aren't gonna try to get into medical school. I mean, you can get into medical school with a 2.8 GPA. You don't need something crazy, all right? So my suggestion in school, for all you guys asking, aka Lemon Hauser, is pass. Do your best, pass, and move on. And if you want to go into an elevated degree like a master's or a doctorate, that's when your grades are going to start to count. Other than that, you just have to pass to get into college. And then when you're in college, you just have to pass to move on. It's nothing special, okay? You don't get a higher paying job because you had a 4.0 GPA. It means nothing. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video in the background. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you got a comment, put it down below. And as always, subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.